Welcome to Rob Schmitt tonight. The Fox PR department hitting the panic button as the ratings continue to plummet. Last night at 8 p.m., the Tucker slot, which pulled well over 3 million viewers for years, brought in 1.5 million. Primetime barely outpacing daytime basic news programming over at Fox. And in response, the company appears to be digging a ditch, continuing its assault on the host that they fired so abruptly a week ago, further angering their audience. A new round of rather benign clips that are supposed to shock you have been leaked to the left-wing radicals over at Media Matters. The content designed to hurt Tucker Carlson and justify his firing. In practice, they just make Fox look desperate and make the fired host more identifiable, more personable. Here's the most explosive release that we saw today. It's Tucker Carlson calling somebody's girlfriend yummy. Shocking, I know. Hide your kids. That moment followed by Carlson joking that it would be leaked to Media Matters, which, of course, is exactly what happened. Take a look.
You wouldn't? Okay. I'm not, you know what? I'm not qualified on that score, I will say. I thought his girlfriend was kind of yummy. Just kidding, in case this is being pulled off the bird. Yeah, the bird. Hey, Media Matters for America. Go yourself. That's the first thing I want to say tonight. Second thing is, totally kidding. I don't even know what his girlfriend looks like. And if I did, I would not find her yummy.
Fox released that thinking that it would hurt Tucker Carlson. Did they not watch the show? Did they not understand the people that follow him and watch his show? Not only is that clip shockingly unimpressive, it's also sympathetic to most conservatives out there. He is mocking cancel culture and the idea that saying something so flippant and harmless, like, oh, his girlfriend's yummy, oh, she's attractive. Something that harmless could be weaponized against you, that our society is that ridiculous. And that's exactly what happened. And that's exactly what Fox did to the same exact organization, to Media Matters. What this leak from Fox reveals is their subtle embrace of cancel culture, which they rail against publicly, but privately it appears they are fine with it when it benefits their cause. One more clip that was leaked today, this one designed to outrage the female audience. Fox hoping this one would elicit the same reaction that Don Lemon got when he talked about Nikki Haley. Take a look.
Well, I feel great. You know, I can never assess my appearance. I wait for my postmenopausal fans to weigh in.
I wait for my post-menopausal fans to weigh in on how he looks that evening, how his show was that evening, acknowledging his audience is mostly women over 50 years old, I suppose. Fox begging for cancel culture to validate their decision. They dug through probably everything they have on video of that man, and this is what they've come up with. Kind of reminds you of the attacks on Trump. They dug through his entire life. This is what you came up with? Dig through anybody else's entire life. Dig through Joe Biden's entire life. Try that. Fox's head of communications, Irina Briganti, who we've talked about quite a bit, the woman Tucker and Laura Ingraham were suspicious of, the woman Rolling Stone claims has files on everyone at Fox, responding to allegations that she's leaking this damaging dirt on Tucker by saying that this is completely false. It is an outright lie. Okay. Take that position. But then how is Media Matters, the sworn enemy of Fox News, getting all of these old behind-the-scenes clips at this perfectly timed moment? What explains that? Well, it wasn't in the statement. Here's Megyn Kelly, former major Fox host, on Irina Briganti herself.
Nice try, Fox, but you tried and failed. So they first leaked to the New York Times. This is my supposition for the record. It hasn't been yet confirmed, but I know it's them. And I know it's Irina Briganti, who runs comms and hates Tucker. Sorry. She hates his guts. And it's mutual. He doesn't like her either. None of us do. Nobody likes Irina. This is all an orchestrated hit job, in my opinion, and it's not a subtle one. It's not enough to fire you, Haya. You must be destroyed. And it doesn't matter how nice a guy you were, how many points you put on the board for the channel, that you brought us through the Trump years that you were #1 in your time slot, that you haven't said one negative word about us. You will be destroyed to settle some angry, bitter, internal PR hacks, personal vendetta against you.
To top this story all off, Dominion, the voting machine company that Fox paid $780 million to settle with, appears to be taking some credit for Tucker's firing. In a recent interview, Dominion's lawyer says the company did not demand Tucker's firing, but the very fact that that's what resulted out of all this, and it's traceable from the work that Dominion and Staple Street set in motion. The co-founder of the company that owns Dominion saying these results are much more profound than some disingenuous apology or forced statement that would not have any credibility. So it certainly seems Dominion is aware that their lawsuit led to the silencing of the most popular name in conservative news, that they're taking some kind of credit for this. But Dominion denies that, saying your story is flatly incorrect to Newsmax. Dominion has been on the record clearly stating that canceling Carlson's show was not part of the settlement agreement. So that's their side on this. You decide. Tucker's firing was the culmination of Fox's drift toward the mainstream, which all started after January 6th. And Fox's apparent decision that milquetoast republicanism is much safer financially. No more red pill populism at 8 p.m. The weight of bringing Americans the real story and what's happening in your country, unfiltered by establishment Washington, was simply too much to bear for Fox in recent years. Victor Davis Hanson joins us tonight. Sir, it's good to have you back on the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
You've said that Fox cannot replace this host. Do you think that they realize that?
I don't know. I think there's a tendency to think that because Bill O'Reilly led to Tucker in a kind of a paradoxical fashion, that Tucker is going to lead to Tucker too. But I think that the Republican conservative movement's changed radically since the Bill O'Reilly early Fox days. It's a, whether you want to admit it or not, it's a populist nationalist party. The days of John McCain and Mitt Romney and the Bushes are over with, and Tucker was the emblematic point man on that. And he was unorthodox. So I don't think that chemistry it can be replicated. And I don't know if they understand that or not. But the $64,000 question is, to what degree is he going to be liberated or not liberated to go out now and continue what he was doing in a different venue? Because I think there's millions of people, both Fox watchers and people who indirectly knew of what he said, that, you know, he had things on YouTube and all over social media and the internet that want his voice. And I don't know quite what his status is. I don't think anybody knows. You hear all these rumors, but they're all waiting for the reappearance of Tucker Carlson to do what he does, maybe on a global or a much bigger platform. And I don't know to what degree Fox or any other people can impede that. I don't see how they can.
If he can skirt out of the last 18 months of this contract, which could keep him on the beach, as they say in this business, for quite a while through the next election. I want to get to some other news here. In your latest piece, which just came out a couple days ago, you describe Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, and his proximity to the president as a subtle threat. You say that Hunter Biden is reminding them that he can take the whole family down because of the very obvious indications of corruption and what he's seen and what he knows. Quote, he seeks exemption from the walls or closing in law and wishes to remind the Bidens at any moment he can take them all down with him. You also say in this about the administration that's running this country, you call it a Jacobin crowd whose agenda does not poll 50% on any issue is now running the country. Joe Biden is its ancient happy face emoji. It has managed in 2 years to wreck the border, destroy energy autonomy, fuel racial tensions, create an entirely new cause of the aggrieved transgender community, tank the economy, spike crime, and put America into rapid decline abroad beneath the Biden facade, and call it progress. We talk about this all the time on this show. Biden is just the face to gain your trust while this very insidious machine works beneath him.
Yeah, that was the Faustian bargain he made. Remember, after the South Carolina primary, when everybody mysteriously bowed out of the race, these hardcore leftists, Pete Buttigieg and Bernie, everybody was just gone. And the idea was, well, he's non compos mentis, and not having a president is actually an advantage because there's no obstacle for us using him as an artifact or a prop. So we don't really have a traditional president, and the left likes that because that's all his job is to be this facade. As far as Hunter, I wasn't just extrapolating out of nothing. I was sort of summing up Hunter's messages, as you remember, in the laptop, where he voiced all this anger and frustration that the big guy and all these people in the family didn't appreciate how he had carried the family, and he had given money, and he'd paid power bills and all of this stuff. And so he was indicted in the whole family. And then when you juxtapose it to suddenly when he's in trouble because of the Arkansas matter, and he's all of a sudden on Air Force One, and he's on a cot in the hotel room, we're told. He's in the White House. So why right now has he kind of coalesced back into the family when he's in sort of, he's in trouble with the paternity suit, and he's in trouble with these clouds of tax investigations on the horizon? And I think he's basically saying to the family, look, you guys are wealthy now, you did very well, and I'm going to have to take the fall for all of you. So you better let me back into the family and close ranks behind me. I think that's pretty obvious if you read the contents of what we know so far from the communications on the laptop.
It makes perfect sense, and you would it stands to reason that Joe would be a little afraid of his son Hunter in this moment because of what Hunter could expose. You know that the kid's a loose cannon. He's a recovering drug addict. You don't know if he gets angry what he could do.
And you can see that very well when he started the painting business. How stupid would it be to endanger his father by, having quid pro quo buyers get access, even though they're supposedly anonymous? But he did that intentionally, I think, to send a signal that I made you money, now I got to make me money, and you know what? What are you going to do about it?
And you got to take care of it.
You can't stop me.
Right. And if anything happens, you got to pardon me too. And I think that goes without question. Victor Davis Hanson, sir, good to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.